What's up, guys? Heatfire Ash here, and today I'm going to be giving you my top 5 picks for the best cards from the Scholomance Academy set for the Wild format in Hearthstone. Let's get into it. Now, before we start going over the cards, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of my videos. Now, let's get into my first pick, number 5. That is going to be Archwitch Willow. Now, this is a Warlock card. It's a 9-mana 7/7 with Battle Cry. Summon a random demon from your hand and deck. And right now, a pretty popular deck in Wild is Cubelock, a Warlock deck based around demons, summoning them out very quickly, playing those high-cost demons. And I think this card is going to fit nicely in that deck. There are some times where you can get your hand sort of filled with a lot of high-cost demons. No way to really get them out unless you draw Skull of Man'ari, which you're not always going to have. This is another card, although it is pretty expensive. It's another card to get a demon out of your hand, and it does have pretty good stats on its own. So playing this, getting 2 more demons on the field is going to be a big push that could very easily overwhelm your opponent. Sometimes with that deck, you can't just play 1 minion out at a time. It's going to be a little slow, and you're going to be forced into using removal or something. But if you can get a couple demons out at once with just 1 card, that's going to be even better. So I do think this card will slot right into that deck specifically. And the next card to talk about, number 4, is going to be Headmaster Kel'Thuzad. This is a really cool card coming out of Scholomance Academy. It is a neutral minion and kind of has that flavor of being, the head of the school, the head of Scholomance Academy. So love the flavor there on the card, but it is a neutral minion. Like I said, it is a 5-mana 4/6 creature with Spell Burst. If the spell destroys any minions, summon them. So if you don't know how Spell Burst works, it is a new mechanic where after, or the first time you cast a spell when it's available, you will get the Spell Burst effect, and it can only happen 1 time. So with this, I think this is going to go in a lot of control decks. Something that control decks, in my mind, have sort of struggled with is that often when they use their removal, they might be clearing, you might be clearing your opponent's board, but you're not producing a board yourself. You're going to be winning the game either through a late game combo or even fatigue sometimes. And a card like Headmaster Kel'Thuzad, you're going to be able to play it, kill 1 or multiple of your opponent's minions if you have an AoE card, for instance, and you're going to be able to summon them all back, therefore clearing your opponent's field and summoning a big field yourself. And this is going to really help you put pressure on your opponent, especially in matchups where it could even be a control mirror match or 2 control decks fighting each other. If you're able to clear off your opponent's board and then build up one yourself, that is really going to help you push that damage forward. So I do expect this card to be seen in some of the high tier control decks that we do see in the Wild format. And number 3 is going to be Glide. I've already made a video about this card because I think it is going to be absolutely insane. But this is a 4-mana Demon Hunter card, and it is a spell. And it says, shuffle your hand into your deck, draw 4 cards, outcast. Your opponent does the same. I do expect this to be played in probably maybe all versions of Demon Hunter, honestly. I do think it will be good in aggro because you're getting refill for your hand. You're going to be able to draw 4 cards, most likely, and then your opponent's going to shuffle away their hand and draw 4. So not only is this good refill for you, but it can mess with your opponent. If your opponent was holding on to that AoE to kind of mess up your Demon Hunter board, you can shuffle away their AoE and possibly they don't draw it again. Not only that, if you are playing against some kind of a combo deck, you can go ahead and shuffle away your opponent's hands. Maybe they were using Emperor Thaurissan to lower the cost of their cards, something like that. You can go ahead and just shuffle those cards away, and your opponent's not going to have that combo ready for them. So I do expect to see this card played a lot, of course. Right now, Demon Hunter basically has 1 archetype, and that's sort of the aggro Demon Hunter sort of build. And they are getting a whole bunch of new cards, so there might be some new builds of Demon Hunter as well, but I do expect that this card will see play. and I do think it will actually get nerfed, because I think messing with your opponent's hand can be pretty crazy if done at the right time, especially with all the combo decks that we do see in Wild. All right, coming in at number 2 for the top card of Scholomance Academy, we have Forest Warden Omu, and this probably does not come as a surprise to anyone, because this card is insane. It is a 6-mana Druid Legendary, and it's a 5/4, and it has Spell Burst, refresh your mana crystals. I'll be honest, I don't know right now initially what deck this is going to go into, but I know any card that says refresh your mana crystals, there's going to be some crazy combo with this. We have seen in the past the Aviana Kun combo that did actually have to get nerfed, where you play Aviana and then you could play Kun for 1 mana, refresh your entire mana pool, and then just play tons and tons of minions for 1 mana each. And that was quite a combo, and they had to nerf it. This card is going to allow you to refresh your mana crystals for 6 mana. All right, and not only that, but there are so many 0-cost spells in Druid. It's not going to be hard to get the Spell Burst off. You can easily just play an Innervate, something like that. So I know there are going to be some of those crazy deck builders out there in Wild are going to come up with some absolutely insane combo with this card. Druid seems to be sort of the combo class as far as mana and that kind of thing goes. They have the most cards that maybe like the only ones actually that can refresh your mana crystals. So that really opens it up for some crazy combos. So I definitely expect to see some awesome combo decks featuring Forest Warden Omu. And now, last but not least, for the number 1 card from Scholomance Academy for Wild, I am giving it to Voracious Reader. A seemingly small little card. It's not a legendary or anything like that. It is a 2-mana 1/3. It is a neutral minion, and it says at the end of your turn, draw until you have 3 cards. This card is insane. Now, it might remind you of another card that we do have in Wild, and that is Jeeves. And if you see here, Jeeves is a 4-cost 1/4 that lets you and your opponent draw to 3. Already, this is a way better card than Jeeves, and we have seen Jeeves play in some aggro decks already, especially ones that don't have access to quite as good card draw. I'm looking at you, Hunter. But let's look at this card. I mean, it's a 2-mana 1/3, 2 mana, very, very cheap, easily going to slot in to any of those low-cost aggressive decks, and the fact that it's not affecting your opponent's draws as well like Jeeves does. This is just going to be drawing for you, and it comes online 2 turns earlier. I mean, you're going to be able just to spam out all your 1, your 2 drops, all your aggro burn. You're just going to be able to play it as fast as you want, jam this Voracious Reader, and you are going to get to draw, refill your hand. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this card does get nerfed. We'll have to see when it's actually in action, but giving just generic card draw to decks that maybe their downside might be that they really don't have good card draw is very dangerous. And I do expect there to be some builds of stuff like Hunter that are going to be looking at a card like this, because right now Hunter does not really have card draw. If you're playing a Face Hunter deck, something like that, you know, you kind of got to beat him with the cards that you have. You're not going to be able to play for that long game of drawing cards and anything. You just don't have the options. The card draw just does not exist. But with this Voracious Reader, you're now going to have card draw, and it's a must kill, right? You might have some big minions that's just hitting your opponent, dealing lots of damage. Your opponent's going to have to kill the Voracious Reader because you're going to be drawing, you know, 2 or 3 cards a turn. They're going to have to kill it. And that means that your big minions, your high attack minions, are probably going to survive depending on what you're playing against. So I definitely think we're going to see this in all sorts of aggro decks throughout the Wild format. And I do think it's going to be kind of a menace where you're going to see these aggro decks just draw their burn, draw their more aggressive cards over and over again. Will it be problematic? Will it be absolutely overpowered? I don't know. Of course, all of this is conjecture, and these are just my guesses from what I've seen and what I've experienced so far. But I have to say, this Scholomance Academy set does have some really cool cards with all the dual class cards. A lot of really cool mechanics, and I do expect there to be some awesome new decks to come out of this set. So let me know down in the comments below what deck you're looking forward to playing with these new Scholomance Academy cards. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.